Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and today I'm going to be doing my September TBR. So before we get into all the books that I am adding to my list of books to read in September, let's have a look at how I did last month. So if you're new, each month I pick 4 of these out and I try to read them. So last month, where are my ones from last month? So last month I chose a manga, and for that I chose Death Note, Volume 1, and I have read this, so 1 out of 4. I chose a book nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, and I chose Same Bed, Different Dreams by Ed Park, and I started it and DNF'd it. Yeah. My thoughts will be in my wrap up on that, so subscribe and do all the things if you are interested. And then Love Marriage by Monica Ali, which I did read, and a recommendation from Ben Reads Good. I had 2 potential options for this. I had Restless, Maunder, which is what I chose, but he also said that he recommends Glorious Exploits. I didn't read either. So Ben, where's Ben gone? Ben is going to have to go back in the jar for another day. So in he goes. Just because it looks like I've been in a fight or haven't washed, that is a bruise. This is from when I took my eldest son to Go Ape, which is like a tree assault course thing, and yeah, this happened. I do have one on this arm as well, so that's what that is if you see that again. So I did 3 out of 4 last month, which is actually very good for me, like above average on my usual attempting to read what I say I'm going to read. So that was good. I was also taking part in Women in Translation Month, and I read 3 books for that. Well, I'm halfway through 1, so 2.5, but I will definitely finish it because it's very short. So yeah, 3 books for that as well. So overall, I think I did pretty good. So let's move on to September. We'll pick 1 of each colour from here and see what we end up with, shall we? So, orange. Okay, so a book recommended by Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. And I'm not even going to look at his video because for Hot or Not, which is a series that I do where I review new releases, I had 2 options. One was Little Rot by Akwaeke and Emezi, and the other was And So I Roar by Abi Dare. And Scott was like, mate, you need to read both of those. And Little Rot won, so I will add the Abi Dare to my TBR, and that can be my Scott pick for what month? September. So that's lovely, isn't it? That works out perfectly because I really want to read that. Okay, green. Oh, so green is to read a fantasy. And I have my fantasy shelf here because I have organised everything in genre. And so this is all, well, some of this is sci-fi, it's fantasy and sci-fi. So I can pick anything from here, and I'm really in the mood for some fantasy. Really in the mood for some fantasy. So, what to pick? I might pick this. The Blinding Knife by Brent, which is the second in the series. I don't know what the series is called. Lightbringer series. And the first book was called The Black Prism. And this is set in a world where like light is part of the magic system. I'm going to have to read a synopsis of the first book because I read the first book probably 3 years ago. So we'll have to read a synopsis of the first one before I go into this, but I love the first one so much, and I've been meaning to get to this ever since. It is quite large. How many pages is this? 753. But I am really in the mood for some epic fantasy, and I feel like I should read a series I've already started rather than starting like the Brandon Sanderson or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to read this, and I'm actually super pumped for that. Okay. Purple. Oh, an award-winning book. I don't know if you can see that. Award-winning. This is also perfect. Because it is Straya September in September, obviously. And I've only picked one book for that readathon. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I've picked one book for that readathon. The reason I only picked one book is because it's really long. It's like 700-800 pages. Now I'm regretting my life choices. But that book is Praiseworthy by Alexis Wright, which won, I think it won both the Stella and the Miles Franklin Award. I think it won both. And I've been wanting to read it for ages. So that works, because then I'm doubling up on my Straya pick. Oh, so pleased about that. That is a good one. And then Yellow. Okay, and that's This Tender Land by William King Krueger. I actually don't know anything about this book. This had a lot of hype a couple of years ago on BookTube. I own it on my Kindle, the Kindle of Dreams. And yeah, I just feel like I'm one of the last people to read it. I think it's supposed to be quite sad, quite emotional, and yeah, that's a great pick. I'm so excited for this TBR. Abi Dare, Brent Weeks, Alexis Wright, and William King Krueger. That is a top-notch TBR. I'm so excited. Pumped. But I do have other things to read also. So, book clubs. I'm part of 2 book clubs. The first of which is the FOMO book club, which I run with my lovely friend Jack from Spread Book Joy, but was also created with the lovely Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, who many of you will know is no longer with us. But I'm still going to mention her every time because I love her. So the FOMO book club, the book for September and October is Horrorstor by Grady Hendrix. I'm not going to be reading that in September. That will be October, because I want to read it in more spooky season. It's a horror about some people who stay overnight in an IKEA type store because weird stuff is happening. So yeah, looking forward to that a lot. And my work book club pick is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. We are reading Neurodivergent Authors in September. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. Another book that will remind me of Alice, one that she wanted me to read for a while. So I'm going to finally get to it. So that is great. And I'm sure everybody knows who Agatha Christie is, but she writes crime novels, and this is a Poirot one, and it's probably one of her more famous ones, and more highly rated. So yeah, excited for that. Readathons. So, Shorty September I'm participating in. I do have a 12 book TBR for that. I've done a separate video. I will leave it linked below. So I have 12 short books picked out for that. And then, as I previously mentioned, there is Straya September, which is hosted by Scott. For both of those readathons, I will leave the hosts and their announcement videos so you can go and check them out and join in with the fun. Scott does have 5 prompts, I think 5. But as I said, because the Alexis Wright book is so massive, I am just going to call it now and say I'm probably not going to manage any more than that. But yeah, it's got loads of prize attention in Australia, and it's something to do with donkeys saving the world. So So yeah, it sounds a bit wild, and I think I'm either going to love it or detest it. So we shall see. If I do end up DNFing it, because like the crazy donkiness is too much for me, then I will probably pick up a book by Tony Birch, because several of his are on Everand, and I read The White Girl by him last year and absolutely adored it. Tony Birch is an Indigenous Australian author, as is Alexis Wright, and I would really like to work through Tony Birch's backlist. So yes, that is my plan for Straya September. Then I have also mentioned Horror Not. So the book that won the poll was Little Rot by Akwaeke and Emezi, which is a book that explores sort of the darker side of Lagos in Nigeria, and we follow a cast of characters who are sort of pulled into that dark underworld. I have already started it and I am really enjoying it, though it is making me extremely uncomfortable also. So yeah, my review for that will be up first half of September. Then there is the Ben Reads Good Challenge. So Ben is one of my favourite booktubers. If you don't follow him, he'll be linked below, but he is just fabulous. And he set a challenge for the year of different prompts for each month. I thought I'd completely messed it up, but I think I've only missed a couple because I inadvertently read a translated book in July and a book in August, even though I wasn't really paying attention. But I'm just going to pick it up and carry on from September. So September's prompt is a short story collection, which I am well known for not liking. I'm not a massive short story person, but there is a short story collection that everybody says is amazing, and that is The Secret Life of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw. And so I'm going to give that one a go and see if that changes my mind. Not overly convinced that it will, but we'll give it a go. We will give it a go. And then buddy reads. I only have one buddy read planned for September, and that is to continue with the Expanse series that I have been reading with Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, Sarah from Freshly Read Books, and Fraser Simons, and we are on book 6? Maybe book 6. I can't remember what it's called, so I'll have to put it here. But we are just loving this series. It's so much fun, epic sci-fi. There is a sort of bacteria proto-molecule thing on the loose. And yeah, it's getting very political, and I really enjoyed the last book. The last book was my favourite of the ones we've read so far because we got some perspectives of characters I love, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see where that series goes. And yeah, we're drawing closer to the end now. There's 9 books in the series, I believe, and yeah, I think this will be book 6. So yes, excited for that. And that is it. That is my September TBR. I feel like I may have rushed this a little. So if there's any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would also love to know what you are reading, if you're taking part in Shorty September or Stray September or any of the other readathons that are going on in September. I know there are a lot in September, and I had to try and be a bit selective about what I joined in with. So yeah, I'd love to know what other things people are doing, so that I can get FOMO and want to join in. I do think there's a sci-fi September, isn't there? So my Expanse pick would fit for that. Yeah. Anyway, if you missed my Shorty September TBR, I will leave that here for you to check out, and I will see you all very soon with another one. Bye guys.